welcome back to the old Firebird Restoration Station, known as VVG, Vinyl Village Garage, because I'm just not that creative with names. I live in a vinyl village, and we play cars in the garage. Now, I just got back from my trip to visit Louie out there in Pennsylvania, played cars out there for the weekend, had a great time, worked on quite a few little projects and odds and ends. Now, he's going to do videos on his channel. I just kind of did a little recap and just had some fun playing cars nonetheless. But now we're back in town. We're going back to work on the Great Pumpkin. And as you can see, she's on her side because I'm working on the underbelly. I'm going to get all the prep work done. We're going to paint the underside of the car, get the lines out and all that stuff. So I got a little prep work there. I got the 455 on the engine stand. That's got the home. Going to go back into the orange bomb out here in the driveway, which is bleached out by the sun. But you know what it is. You guys seen the channel. But what happens to be going on is I needed an engine for the Great Pumpkin. Solve the problem now. So I've got an engine. I'm going to show you what we're going to do, what the plan is for that. I've also got a pile of parts in the driveway, like all the front sheet metal, the subframe, and everything for the Great Pumpkin. I have to get that stuff prepped to send it to the sandblaster. So if you want to know what it takes to get stuff done before we drop it off, that's what I'm going to show you here today. But anyway, let's get this started. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do, which way we're going to head, but we're going to play cars today, and you're going to hang out with me while we're doing it. The tip I'm going to give you today, we're getting everything ready for sandblasting. I'm going to knock these bushings out because they're junk. So I'm going to show you the easy way, or at least I think it's the easy way, and it seems to work really good for me. You can press them out, which is ideal, but I don't want to. I'm going to show you how I've always been doing it. It seems to work real nice. That's a quick tip I'm going to give you. And that's the rest of the video, little things about how sandblasting and what our plans here with the car. So let's take care of this first. Okay, well, here's your quick little tip, right? Chunk of wood. Our victim right here would be the control arm. We're going to knock these bushings out. And a big friendly or big freaking hammer. And hopefully these will punch right out. But sometimes they're stubborn, but I don't like grabbing the press and getting it all out. But a couple solid hits typically will get that thing out of there. So let's see if we can have any luck at it today. Let's see how it goes. Hey, cool. All right, a couple more. Yeah, at least it's mostly. I'll probably get a punch or something. See if I can get the other side here. Well, there you be. That's how it normally goes. This one's being a little bit stubborn, but I think we get like a punch or something and we can finish this thing off. But much easier and quicker than getting the press out, but you get the idea. All right, now like I said, this is a 455 I built quite a few years ago. Had a nice roller valve train I had just installed in because I killed the cam lobes. Note to self, anybody out there, zinc additive is a must for a standard cam because you will kill a camshaft in no time whatsoever. That's what happened to this engine. Put a roller cam in it, had some weird noises. So another update in installing a roller lifter setup on these. They have a little crossbar that ties lifters together. Well, that was the first time I experimented with that. Lesson learned the hard way. But that little crossbar was actually rubbing the valley pan, making a weird noise. Got it all back together. The engine made a funny noise. Had a massive oil leak. So I shut her down, pulled the engine out to discover what the problem was. Well, like I said, long story short, there's nothing wrong with this engine after all. My massive oil leak was the distributor seal. And then the noise was that crossbar hitting the valley pan. So end result, nothing wrong with this engine besides I pilfered the camshaft to put in the I guess a high school car project there because I needed that big bump stick in that one. And those things aren't cheap, I'll tell you, but I don't think I'm going to go back that way with this engine. I'm going to put a standard camshaft in it. I'll get the specs with her later on maybe, but just something kind of mild to get this thing back up to roadworthy because what's going to happen is this engine was in that orange GTO or Le Goat I had. It's going to go back in because what's underneath the hood right now of that thing, an old orange bomb out here in the driveway, is a beautiful 1971 Pontiac 350. It was just recently rebuilt, 30 over, nice little cam, runs great, and doesn't leak oil whatsoever, and it's already been broke in. So that engine's going to come out of that, and it's going to go into the leaning car here in my garage, because we're going to get all this stuff out here in the driveway. As you can see, it's kind of like a model car, but full size, real life size. Fenders, cowling, lower valence, doors, fender wells. You'll see the subframe. And I got to strip the core support. I need to unbolt all the pieces, parts off of these before I send it to the sandblaster. The hinges are going to take off, mirrors, handles, door latches, anything that's aluminum or glass. If you don't want it destroyed, take it off before dropping it off at the media blaster. even these emblems, let's just use your imagination. What if they were in nice shape? Do not sandblast those. They'll come back destroyed. This fender looks kind of sad, but I got a plan to fix that. I can't wait for that video. So you guys want to see how to fix these little rust holes on these fenders? Stay tuned. I'll have that coming up here soon. The doors are in great shape, besides just need sandblasted, same as the fender wells. And I've already stripped down everything off the subframe. Now my core support, I'm gonna pull the radiator and then the all regulator and then all hood latch. So I'm gonna strip that thing down to just a core support and drop that off at the sandblaster. But like I said, anything like mirrors, chrome trim, or glass will get destroyed from sandblasting. So other than that, paint and Bondo and rust, that goes gone goodbye when you take that to the sandblaster. So I'm gonna get that stuff stripped and all clean. Probably won't do a video on that, but just want you to see all these pieces. We can get loaded in the old Crapple-Lanch and take those and get those dropped off this week. And in the meantime, well, maybe we'll play underneath the car or disassemble an engine. Not sure which way we're gonna go yet. I guess something else kind of pops up in my head. Now, I actually threw out there that willing to help out anybody with their car and their projects, and an overwhelming response of people who would like to have some help. Great idea, and so I realized that I can't get everywhere and take care of all of them. I really want to, but being realistic about it, there's just no way I can reach out to everybody. So now I gotta figure out how to pick, or lottery, or luck of the draw, or I haven't figured out yet, but I want to keep record of everybody who sent me an email, sent pictures, a lot of really neat opportunities, a lot of really cool rides. But again, I'm not sure how I'm going to work all of them in, but if I could only do it like a full-time job, that would be the coolest job ever. Just playing cars all day, driving around playing, or I guess say fixing or building dreams, whatever you want to call it. But so I got to work on that. So it might be a bit of a delay until I figured out my goal is 2 or 3 a year. Well, now I need to do a whole bunch more than that. I think that's part of the adventure. So enough of that. The other thing is, we'll call it the Firebird Brotherhood Connection, or whatever you want to say. But it's really cool being networked with everybody who builds these cars and has something to do with them. I get people saying, hey, do you know about this piece? You know anything, is this anything of value? Or people just send me stuff. I got something the other day that is really, really, really cool. Now you look at this here. You're like, okay, John, what is that? Now the clue is this little bump here on the back side where it lines up with the button that it goes in. But if you guys can tell me what this is, extra bonus points. Now the guy who sent it to me, you're excluded from that answering that. But I really appreciate you, Dennis, for sending this to me, because this thing is freaking awesome. And good luck finding one this nice. So a really extra super bonus thing I got in the mail. I can't thank him enough for that. But he also sent me a little, this one might be a little more self-explanatory. You've probably seen these on your standard steering wheels. It's always missing out of the horn button. Hooked me with one of those too. Now he had these things made up. These aren't something you could buy, so extra super special. And the other one here recently I just got, now this is my good buddy there, Brian. He hangs out there in Arizona where it's a whole lot warmer than here in Indiana. Check this thing out. This is a rally gauge set for a 1968 Firebird. Now he didn't just give it to me. He probably would have asked, because he's a pretty awesome guy, but I just happened to have a 1967 rally gauge set that didn't have a home. But guess what? He has a 67 bird and I have a 68 bird. So we did a little trading. What a fantastic trade. So being part of the network here, really awesome. Didn't really cost anything besides a couple bucks to ship the thing. What a great deal. So one of the things that's really one of the bonuses that's actually happened since doing YouTube. So just want to say thanks to you guys. I appreciate it. And of course, it's kind of a neat opportunity. So like I said, one of the extra bonuses that I didn't even think about when I started this journey. I just wanted to share some love and share the knowledge and help you keep you motivated. But now I've been able to network and get some cool parts that I need on the cheap. So enough of that. Now we got to figure out, do we want to play with the Great Pumpkin, or do we want to tear a 455 down? Because unfortunately, like I said, I took it out of the car, left it here in the garage, left it exposed. It's full of sand, dirt, crud, and everything else. I need to take that apart, clean it, inspect it. Then we're going to reassemble with a new bump stick and a timing cover so we can get that thing swapped out. So I'll have to do some thinking here. I'm going to figure out where we're going to go. One more thing I wanted to cover before I go ahead and call it quits here for today, because this wore me out. But when there's large amounts of Bondo, plastic filler, whatever it be, if it's more than a 1/4 inch or actually any measurable amount, please, please, it might be wise to remove all that before sandblasting, because the biggest, I guess, downfall of sandblasting is building up heat. So they got to keep blasting the putty out of here. They'll actually cook the panel and damage it more than what they're trying to cover up with the putty. Now it's got some ripples in it. I think we're gonna do some hammering and dollying. We'll work this out before we put some filler back on it, but I wanted that out before sandblasting. So kind of going over tips before taking your stuff and dropping it off. This is one of them. Clean all the putty up best you can before you go. There you go, all the parts loaded on the old Crap-A-Lanch. They're ready to go for blasting day number 2. So blasting the bird part 2. Well, that's kind of part of the necessary evil to get all the pieces and parts and ready and prepped for paint and body work. Covered a few tips and tricks on what you need to do before doing that in case you decide to go that route. That plastic body filler, it's a must to get that out for many reasons. Not just say protect it from warping the panel from your sandblaster guy, but sometimes rust will fester underneath that Bondo, and sometimes they don't blast it out in fear of damaging your panel. So take a few moments. I made a mess out of my garage floor in here. See the piles of silly putty dust? And I got it all over my pretty shirt. If you guys want one of these shirts, check the links down below. My store is back up and running on the YouTube's channel. So appreciate the supporting that there too, wearing and sporting these cool shirts. But kind of dirtied mine up. I wasn't planning on doing this. I was just gonna load parts, but it turned into I found a few surprises. Well, that happens when you have a 50-year-old car. So didn't really do the most exciting episode this time around, but I hope that you found these tips helpful and useful in case you decide to take stuff to have it media blasted, or even if you're gonna blast it yourself, still applies. Get all that body filler out of there and unbolt everything you possibly can. Door handles, door latches, lock cylinders, definitely any glass that you want to reuse. That sand will destroy the glass, so make sure you get that out of there. Aluminum components can be media blasted, but not stuff used for steel, iron, and cast, because they'll just blast it, or the most abrasive stuff they can use sometimes, and it will not survive. So then you call, of course, little tip tricks on how to knock out some control arm bushings. That's how I do it, because, well, I don't like working that hard, and smacking with a hammer makes it kind of fun. Anyway, I think I've said enough, rambled on. Appreciate you following me on that journey. Of course, any help you guys can do to help grow my channel, share these fun bits and pieces or tips and tricks with you or your friends, would definitely appreciate that, because I see that helping, offset the expense of doing these traveling jobs. So anyway, that's a pipe dream maybe later down the road, but it could happen with the help of you. All right, I'm worn out. This has taken me 2 or 3 hours getting the wife's garage or parking spot back there on the driveway cleaned back up before she comes home. And I overdid it, I think. I wasn't planning on getting this far into it today, but didn't get to play with the engine. Didn't do anything over there, but took care of some of the necessary evils. So anyway, I'm rambling. I've said enough. Appreciate you following me on the journey. I'll get the camera out here, and we'll actually get back to work on the underbody and that engine too next time around. So until then, you guys stay safe out there, and we'll catch you then.